Okay, so I'm frantically saying good morning to everybody. Okay, it's like a crazy morning. So happy Monday, everybody. Again, I apologize. I'm like a minute, well, not really a minute late. It's just that we try to start the countdown a few minutes before. But a busy morning already here on a Monday. So while I will cheer to everyone with coffee, I will admit that my coffee is now cold and I'm not going to reheat it. I'm just going to go into the cold caffeine. It's been a bit crazy. So good morning. If I missed you, Tammy, good morning. Kim, super important. I want you to here. Let me put this up. See if I can see it. There you go. So Kim. When we get to my little secret later in this, our little time together, Kim, I think it could be a really good option for you, like total, like serious. So we'll chat later. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Jim Federico. Okay, hold on, Jim. Eric has sent me something that I have to stop my life.
To him,
yeah, you did already send it to him?
Yeah, he got it already.
Oh, okay, he got it already. All right.
I was gonna put him on the show.
I don't know how to do this. Okay, well here, I'm gonna do that. So this is a picture of Jim's house. That's not Jim, that is the worker putting his floors in. How exciting is that? This is the most fun time when things start to wrap up and you see that progress. So thank you, lovely tradesman who was putting in the flooring for Jim's house. That's awesome. And I know you guys are here and you get to see it all the time, but still. Good morning, Sabrina from France. Bonjour. That's about it. That's all I remember. I did take French for a few years, but I won't even butcher it right now. But yeah, I forgot a lot of it. J'ai oublié beaucoup de mon français. I don't know. That was horrible. Never mind. Anyway, good morning. Oh, I missed somebody else. Who else did I miss? And if I missed you, I'm so sorry. I love all of you. Rhonda, good morning. Elizabeth, Allie, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so first of all, cheers to everyone. Good morning. Here is my newest coffee mug. Eric actually found this for me the other day. We did I'm calming myself down now. Okay, so Eric and I went, we talked about last week, we talked about Disney passes. We went to Disney Springs and we grabbed our passes. And while we were there, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But while we were there, Eric did find me a cute little mug. And so we decided we would get this one for today. So cheers to everyone. Good morning, Rob and Deep Sea. Thanks for joining in, everybody. So here's my new mug. So cheers to you. It's got the little Disney instead of the O, which we love, haha, love. I also would like to point something out here. And I may have mentioned it before, but this came up at a closing on Friday. I want everyone to realize that I'm left-handed. Now, that doesn't matter to anyone, except you understand that the coffee mug, when I drink it, you get to see what's written on it, which is great for you. It just means that when I'm drinking the coffee, I just see plain pink on the other side, which is totally not a problem. I'm grateful to share this with you. But it stemmed a conversation for people who don't understand left-handed people. So I don't think any of these, so here's an example. So if I were right-handed, everyone pick up a pen or a mug or something that has writing on it. If I were right-handed, I would be able to see that this says Sharpie. But when I'm left-handed, which I am, it's upside down. So I know it's probably hard for you to visualize that on camera, but it is a left-handed problem. They make pens, they make spiral notebooks, they make everything for a right-handed person. So if you're right-handed and you're a right-handed person holding the coffee mug in their right hand, they're going to be looking at the beautiful Disney love, right? And the friends will be looking at the drip marks of the coffee, which is gross. My apologies. But as a left-handed person, I'm looking at the drip marks of the coffee and you're looking at the pretty. So again, for the show, it's fine. But I would just like to point out that we as left-handed people... Bother. Thank you, Pooh Bear. We have issues. Speaking of that, there is a left-handed little kiosk, a little store out there at Disney Springs, which I didn't have time to get to, and I wish I did. But anyway, I just thought I would share that with you because it was funny. My client who was closing, Alonda, was right-handed, so she's signing her documents. But the closing, the woman that was handling the closing for us was left-handed. So we just, there's a lot of time to chit-chat while you're closing because there's just a lot of things to sign. We were talking about being left-handed, and I don't think my client Alonda had, like, if you're right-handed, you never really think about the fact that when you hold a pen or a pencil with writing that you can read it, see it, understand it, or that if you have a coffee mug or something and you're holding it, that you can read it, see it, and understand it, and that people that are left-handed, you don't get to see that. Shafiq, your son is left-handed. I did not know that. Yay for the lefties.
Look at Janet's comment, because he's right, and it's also fun because he's...
Hold on, where is he? Where'd he?
Very bottom.
The very bottom. Oh, right. So yes, look at this one. So Garen, try to use a 10 opener left-handed. I know, right? So this is true story. And I promise we'll talk about real estate in a minute, but this was such a fun conversation the other day. So when I was in school, so although I am left-handed, and when I was very young, I broke my left arm. And I remember, mom and dad trying to switch me to be right-handed because I was still young. Still time. I guess they could have shifted me. But so left-handed. So it doesn't. So this is our little can opener, right? So I have to hold it here and do it this way. So most everything I do, I have to do with a right hand dominant, like cutting. Like I can't use scissors left-handed, even though I'm left-handed. And the reason for that school system back in Virginia when I was growing up is that there were like 2 pair of left-handed scissors per grade level and like not even per classroom, but per grade level. So I never was able to utilize left-handed scissors. Woe is me. I know you're all crying. They also didn't really have left-handed desks. You remember, for those of us that had the kind of desk where you'd sit in it and like the little thing like curved around, totally meant for a right-handed person. But if you're a left-handed person, your elbow is going off of it, right? So anyway, all of these trials and tribulations that we have as lefties. So the can opener or the 10 opener, that's cute. I like that. See, I love that we do things different everywhere. I'm trying to find the little button here. I don't know where it went. So Eric's going to have to, oh, there it is. I found it. So lots of things like even throwing a ball. I cannot throw a ball left-handed. I can only throw it right-handed. Now, I guess there's no rule.
Marginal.
Hey, he just busted on me saying I can't throw a ball. I can. But here's the reason. The reason I had to do it that way was because you couldn't really, like, again, in PE class, all the gloves that they had, they didn't really have left-handed whatever you needed. So anyway, I'm sad. I'm going to cry a little bit. But before I do that, we're going to get going. So anyway, good morning. Thank you again. If I've missed any of you that have popped in here a little bit later, I am so happy that you're joining in. I think I have the comments kind of up do I have them up so you guys can see too? Do I have that button up?
It'll be on your screen if it was.
Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. I see it now. Hold on. I just messed up something. Eric, fix it.
Stop touching it.
There we go. I stopped touching it. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about. We have just a lot of fun stuff, a lot of some new stuff. So again, as always, if you have questions, if something has kind of come up in your over the week, if anything has popped up that's giving you a question, hopefully I've got some good information for a lot of you. But before we get going, I want to tell you about why it's been such a crazy morning. Eric usually spends Sunday, the big majority of Sunday. You'll notice we did not have a Sunday drive this week, but we're not going to be able to do that, I don't think, every week, although we will certainly try. It was a busy week, crazy week, so we just didn't have time to do a Sunday drive. However, he does spend the majority of Sunday prepping for our coffee time. And he does a really good job and it's very thorough and doing the new graphics and things like that. So we kind of come up with our topics, the what's brewing topics, and we go through the congratulations and things like that. But yesterday we had one of my former students. Again, I'm sure most of you know I was a dance teacher back in Virginia. That's what I was before I moved to Florida and got involved in real estate. But one of my former students who I taught when I think she actually came to me when she was maybe
She said 12.
I was gonna say probably about 12-ish. She had actually, funny story. She had moved from Virginia, I think from the Tampa area, to Virginia, and she had been dancing here in Florida, then moved to Virginia, and she was a part of my studio. And she is, I wish I had a picture of the girls, because there's a core group of those students that all met through the dance studio that have remained lifelong friends that see each other all the time. Their kids are all kind of growing up at the same time. So these are all now adult women. They're married. They've got kids and their own families. And she brought her kids, she and her husband, Matt, brought their two beautiful, I mean, when I say beautiful, I mean, absolutely exquisite young ladies. Evelyn and Vivian, were here. and with Natalie and Matt. Oh, okay. I was like, what are you doing? And they came over last night. They're here at Disney, and they came over last night for dinner, and the girls went swimming in the pool, and it was just so nice and relaxing to chat. But because we had that lovely time together, Eric did not get as much time doing that. But I will tell you, I have a few things to show you because it's very important. I told them they would be stars on Coffee Time. So everyone say hello to Evelyn and Vivian. So first of all, I got a few pictures, right? So isn't that sweet? They drew a picture of me. This is a magnolia that she drew. Isn't this amazing? Aren't they lovely artwork? Now I have to tell you, this is sweet. Look, I love it. And then this one, I love this. Isn't this all the swirly cues and love? Now, I share that because at my dance studio, my students would always bring in pictures. You know, they'd draw something and they'd bring it in like they do to their teachers, right? And I loved that. And every time they brought a picture, I would tape it up to the wall. And by the end of the dance year, which is like a school year, my entire wall would be filled up with all sorts of like just coloring pages and freehand little doodahs and big ones and little ones. And it's been a long time since I've received just a random little picture that somebody drew for me. And so this makes my heart so happy. So Natalie and Matt, thank you for coming and sharing your beautiful girls with me and hanging out with us a little bit last night. So, and by the way, that's the beauty of living in Florida, my friends. So if you move here, know that friends and family aren't going to forget you. They're probably going to make it more of an effort to be able to come and share in the magic of Disney. And still, you know, kind of share the magic of reconnecting with some friends and family. So anyway, so that was lovely. So anyway, all right, let's move on, shall we? Let's get going to our, I guess we'll do our What's Brewing, right? And don't forget if you have questions,
Yes.
Yes. If you have any questions, don't forget Q with a colon would be fantastic. That would help me out. All right, here we go. Let's brewing. Okay, so we have a couple of good topics today. We have Disney passes, inspection reports, and Disney's backyard. So Disney passes. So, you know, we talked a little bit last week because we were excited about, we had mentioned it in the Sunday drive of last week about the Disney passes, annual passes for Florida residents. Let's pop that we'll put the same graphic up so you can see kind of what the different versions of those annual passes are. You have the Pixie, the Pirate, the Sorcerer, and the Accreta Pass. The first two are for Florida residents only. The Sorcerer is for Florida residents and Disney Vacation Club, and then the Accreta Pass is for anybody. Again, you can kind of see what the restrictions are, whatever the blockout days are for holidays, things like that. So we ended up getting the Pirate Passes. And, you know, we actually have a graphic here too, so you can see what those actual blockout dates are. So if you are a Florida resident, or if you're going to become one, my friends, moving here, then this is a good way for you to kind of determine if this is the right pass for you. This is the one that we chose. If you see, the blockout dates are all around the holidays, which for us, we're not going to go to the parks during the holidays anyway. That's you know, it's just not what we typically do. And I understand a lot of people do vacation, or they do have, you know, kids or whomever, you know, college kids coming home and they're only home for the holidays. So maybe that pass doesn't work for you, but I think that's a good way to kind of take a peek at it and see what those blockout dates are. But on that note, I would like to show you my magic band because I love it. So here's my new magic band. I, of course, got Winnie the Pooh. I mean, of course, like, duh. You know, funny story. We were talking last night to the girls. We're asking Vivi and Evie what their favorite, you know, characters were, princesses, things like that. And I was like, I bet you're never going to guess what mine is. And Natalie said, she goes, I don't even know if they're going to know who Winnie the Pooh is. And I'm like, oh, horror. Like, where's, oh, bother. Hold on. Where's oh, bother? I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh, well, whatever. Oh, bother. You got to know who Winnie the Pooh is. You have to know. If you don't know who Winnie the Pooh is,
Oh, bother.
then boo-hoo to you. Anyway, so Pooh Bear's the favorite. I did grab Eric's. Eric got, that's what he got. So, because of the old guy, he says. Okay. Funny. Anyway, so here's his magic band. Now, so we went specifically to Disney Springs because they have the like Pen Trader place has a pretty substantial selection of those magic bands. We kind of thought there was going to be even more than there was, but there was quite a few. So Eric brought in the other ones. Okay, so here's a couple that we'll show. Now I'm really bad because I'm not going to know which everyone is. But
Star Wars.
Star Wars. This one is obviously, this is Toy Story, of course. This one is Groot. Whoop. Oh, I'm so bad. I swear I could not be a weatherman. This one, of course, is Monsters University. This one's for my daughter Elizabeth. And then this one is another Star Wars, yeah?
Yes, Millennium Falcon.
Millennium Falcon. And then what's the last one?
That was just Disney Be Happy.
Oh, and this one is just cute. This one is Disney Be Happy. Yeah, we like that
Well,
one.
you can tell them why we got all these things.
Yeah. So we have these. I don't know if we told you this or not, but for our we celebrated. Eric and I celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary earlier in April. And we did a little that little staycation at Animal Kingdom Lodge that we told you about. But our actual big present to us was a family VIP Disney tour. So that will be coming up on May 20th. We're going to be doing the Disney VIP tour. Our oldest son, Forrest, is going to be coming in from Virginia. Yay, he's going to come stay with us for a week, so I'm so excited. He's coming. My daughter, Elizabeth, and her husband, Steele, had leave for that weekend from the Army, so they're coming in. Obviously, Alyssa and Hong are here. Dawson is here. And so we have a couple of friends coming with us as well. So it's going to be a really big family affair. So that's why we have all those magic bands. We got them for all of our the family and friends that are coming. I think Allie and Hong took theirs with them already. Yeah, but they have magic bands as well. So anyway, super excited about that. So that's kind of the Disney part of it, the Disney passes. So again, if you haven't, take a quick peek at the pass options that there are. And you know, I mean, it's you have to determine which one is right for you, price wise. Are you going to be able to get your money's worth out of it and so forth? But I know that we are for sure.
We saved already like
yeah, we did, because once we got the season's passes, then we went to when we went to Disney Springs, then we got the annual pass holder discount, and that saved us a lot. So it's excuse me, it's certainly worth it. So get your passes. Let me know when you're coming, and we'll all meet up for funnel cake. Okay, so going on to the next, what's brewing? Inspection reports. Okay, this one is really important. Oops. Oh, there went my bracelet. Okay, so inspection reports. Basically, this is more about, let me turn this off real fast. So inspection reports can be done. We're talking in this case specifically for resale homes, okay? An inspection can be done on new construction as well. When you do first of all, with new construction, as a reminder that your home is inspected by the county inspectors like 30 plus times during the build process by the county inspector. So not the builder signing off on their own workmanship, but the actual county inspectors. So a new construction home is inspected. It does have to pass those inspections. It does have to get the final certificate of occupancy before you can close on it. So new construction is inspected. However, if you want to have a third-party outside inspection done on your new construction home, that can be done. We can talk about that. I talk about that a lot with my clients as to whether or not you want to do that. It's certainly your right to do that. Builders do have some stipulations on that and some requirements from the company that would be doing the inspection. So all of that would need to be coordinated very closely with the builder to make sure that that happens in an efficient timeline. However, what I want to talk about right now are resale home inspections. So obviously, when you were to put an offer on a resale home, whether it's a relatively new home or whether it's a really old home, you have a safety period. As soon as you submit that offer, when you submit the offer, you can put that inspection period 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days. The norm is 7 days. 10, the default I think is 14, but most sellers want a shorter inspection period. So anywhere from like 5 to 7, maybe 10 kind of on the long end. Anyway, so during that timeline, you as the buyer schedule and pay for your home inspection. That is your right, but it's also your like responsibility payment wise. That's not something that the seller pays for. So you will schedule an inspection from an inspection company. I'm happy to help you, give you some options of companies that I use all the time, had lots of good, happy success with. Or you can certainly find your own. But your inspection report, they come out, they do the inspection. The rule of thumb, and this is a rule of thumb, not like a rule, but just an example, is it for every 1,000 square feet, it takes about an hour for the inspection. That's something that an inspector once told me, so I'm going off of their professionalism and their experience. So if you've got a 3,000 square foot home, expect that inspection to last about 3 hours, and so forth and so on. So just again, as a point of reference. Now, when you schedule your inspection, there are things that you can add. Let me see, let me pull this up real quick because Eric did this for us. So in the inspection report, there are things that you can add. So I want to skip 1, 2, and 3 for the moment and take a look at 4 and 5 because there's also other ones. Like if there's a pool attached to the property, you're going to probably want to have a pool inspection. In fact, then you want to make sure that that inspection company knows that you're doing the pool inspection, so they'll have someone certified to inspect the pool as well. There's also optional wind mitigation. Some lenders or homeowner insurance companies may require that. Optional radon testing, you can have that done. I just had a client recently do that. It's not required. That's completely up to you. One that we did not put on here, which I'm going to add because it's an important one, is WDO. That is a wood destroying organism, which is basically termites, a termite inspection. If you are a VA loan, that is going to be required in your inspection report. So you most definitely need to have that done. Again, that is an option that you can do when you schedule your inspection. But what I want to go back to are 1, 2, and 3 and kind of give you an idea of what to expect. The first one are the inspected items. So I did not print out the entire inspection report because it can be like 50 pages. But what I did print out is just an overview to show you what it looks like and things that I suggest you look for in the inspection report. So it's important to understand that a resale home is going to be written on the standard as-is contract. And an as-is contract means that you would like to purchase this home as it is. Right? There, of course, are ways that you as the buyer as well as the seller are going to be protected within the legal boundaries of that contract. And a lot of that is going to stem from that inspection period. That inspection period as the buyer, you should consider your safety period. So if you were to get this inspection report back and there were going to be 10 safety items on it and they're all huge mechanical and structural expensive issues that you had no idea existed in the home prior to submitting your offer on it, then that is your window of opportunity to say, you know what, I don't think we're going to come to terms with being able to negotiate this to get it where we feel comfortable. So we're going to go ahead and cancel this contract. You're within your rights to do that. You'll get that earnest money deposit back. However, usually with what I tell my clients with your inspection report, with your inspection report is to look at a couple of specific things. It's what I look for because an as is a home that's got a year, 2, 3, 4 years on it. There are going to be elements to the home that are not brand new, and you have to understand that going into it. It's going to have some dings in the walls. It's going to have probably some cracks in the grout or in the caulk. There might even be a chip in the tile or a crack in the tile. There's going to be maybe some tiny rips in the screens and the windows. It may need to be painted. I mean, there's going to be elements to it that it's going to be loved. It's going to be laughed in. It's not going to be necessarily abused, although sometimes. It's a home that's got some age on it. So you don't want to go into the inspection thinking that everything is going to look like it does in new construction, because that's not what you're buying. You're not buying new construction. You're buying a home that's got a few years of love and laughter in it. So on those, or in those situations, I always go to, again, if you go back to his little doodah, where is it? Inspection. If you go to like number 1, items inspected, number 2, maintenance items, 3, safety issues. And there's also a recommendation in there. So this is what is the overview page. This is an actual one that we have. Okay, so if you look at these up here, do you see the top? This is what I go through with my clients. There were 90 items that were inspected in this home. 3 of them had some suggested maintenance. 23 had some recommendations, and there was 1 safety hazard. And this is important. You see what I highlighted, honey? Look at this one. Look at the one safety issue over here. The one says suspected mold growth in the heating system in the AC units. Everyone freaks out. Mold. Okay, I swear it's a default line item that is I have never, ever had an inspection report come back without this in the inspection report.
It doesn't mean there's not.
I was going to say,
does mean
I know. Yeah. So it's
always there.
It's not saying disregard it and ignore it and don't pay attention to it. That's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is before you get worried about something, understand that first of all, it's a tropical climate here, right? So we have a lot of heat, a lot of moisture, a lot of humidity, and that within that AC handler, it isn't necessarily active mold spores. And in many cases, what it is there's like, I remember an inspector showed it to me once. There's a row of tape. There's a tape thing that goes around it, and that very, very quickly becomes like blackish. And so they have to disclose it, right? They have to kind of give you they have to let you know that there is the potential for mold within this hot, heated, moisture, humidified unit. Yes, sir.
Well, and it says suspected mold growth. Well, if you're an inspector and you're in a place where it's 90 degrees and humid, like for many months of the year, you would suspect there would be mold growth.
Well, yeah, and one day I actually am going to have an inspector on one day, because I want to talk through some of these things and make sure that from the inspector's point of view, you can kind of get a detailed list potentially of some things that, I see. A list of things that, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
That's okay. I already saw it the first time you pointed at it. What was I saying? Get an inspector to have their point of view of what they deem to be things that you might want to look for from their perspective, right? Because I'm not an inspector, so I'm not telling you what to pay attention to and what not to. I'm just telling you from experience, this is what I would do if it were my own home. If it says, cracks, need to reseal the grout in the bathroom, or reseal the caulk in the shower, or blah 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 blah. Those are not things that I'm going to ask the seller, and that's kind of where I want to go with this. Is that when you have this inspection report, okay? So this inspection report, and this one there were 58 pages, and this inspection report, of the items, anything that is really aesthetic or cosmetic in nature, we just assume that is, I mean, again, this is not a blanket statement, but you assume that the majority of that is going to fall under that as is part of the contract, right? I mean, of course, that's the way it's going to be. There might be a little scratch in one of the kitchen cabinets because it's been opened and closed for the past however many years. However, what we do not want to disregard is anything that is related to a safety issue or that is mechanical or structural in nature. And what I mean by that is if you have an AC unit that needs to be maintained, and by the way, that's usually what we always ask, when I talk to my clients and we're like, yep, see the, such and such, this line item talks about the AC unit. We pretty much always request that if the seller did not already have a maintenance system set up with an AC company, very easy to do. We just set ours up as $360 or something, and they come out twice a year to service the units, which is important. It's part of like your required homeowner maintenance. You want to make sure that you're taking good care of those units because they run all the time. To get those basically cleaned and serviced and maintenanced. And again, most people already have that on a schedule, so it's easy enough to do. And if not, it's still easy enough to do. So anyway, so that's kind of what we go through. And I think this is really important. It's a great visual for you. And most of the inspection reports look very similar, where they show you how many items they inspected, what the maintenance items are, what is recommended, and then what are the safety issues. And then it's all color coded down here in the summary, so you can go through and go, okay, well, and here's another one, the vegetation, grading, drainage, landscaping, touching the house. Okay, so they never, in an inspection report, if there's any bushes or shrubs that actually touch the house, that's going to go on your inspection report. Okay, the seller doesn't need to trim those bushes back. However, if there is a giant precarious branch that's from a tree that's about to fall and snap on the roof, okay, that's different. So again, there's not a one and done when it comes to guidelines for these inspections. But if there was anything that I would say to use as your true north for that, look for safety issues that relate to mechanical or structural, and kind of use those as the things that you're going to really want to make sure that you have the seller address. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, let me move on to the next one. Eric, did you have something you wanted to say? No, okay. All right. So if you have questions about inspection reports, by the way, I get them all the time. So feel free to put some of those questions here, and we'll reference back to those. All right. So now we're going to get to Disney's backyard. For the longest time, if you watch any of my home tours, I've said things, we're here in Disney's backyard, blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of came out naturally. And the truth is we really are in Disney's backyard. So we wanted to kind of go through it and give you a better visual. And as always, Eric does nothing as a just quick, easy breezy. He puts a lot of time and creative effort into this. So we're going to do what? So, yes.
Show my pretty logo.
Well, I was going to, dear. But yeah, so we have our little Disney's Backyard logo. Isn't it adorable? So this, and you'll hear us talking about this a little bit more because it really is a great way to describe pretty much where we are and where so many of my video tours and my clients end up purchasing. And on a broader scale, that's a cute logo, but I think this is going to be a little bit more helpful as well to kind of see what the overview is for Disney's Backyard. So obviously you see kind of the Magic Kingdom. You see where we're talking about with Disney's Backyard. So this map, you can see Horizon West. You can kind of see all of these different villages that are going to be popping up. So you can see, we have Hamlin, you see Bridgewater, you see Lakeside, you see Hickory Nut, you see Sidell, and you see Ovation. You see Winter Garden, and now let's pop over. You can see Mineola, which is the new big hotspot, Claremont, which is going to be home of Wellness Way, Olympus, all of that area. And this, I think, map-wise, at least for my brain, this is super helpful because it's a great way to really visualize and kind of compartmentalize where these areas are that we talk about and that we drive through and that we share with you so often. And honestly, where so many of our clients end up purchasing in this area in general. So we're going to give you some more detailed information here about that in the market report part of it. But I think this is really good. So applause to Eric, everyone. Applause.
That was really good.
Huh?
That was hard to explain.
Thank you. Well, I do think that the visual idea to see how, again, it's compartmentalized, I think is really, really, really helpful because when we drive through, we're like, oh, this is the Ovation Village. And people are like, village? Like you think it's like this thing with a fence around it. You drive through an entrance, it says Ovation Village. That doesn't exist. Eric has picked up the mic, everyone.
We'll show you some things in a minute of like how that breaks down. But yes. I'm going to say something you won't say. Amy's the #1 realtor in Disney's Backyard. All of those areas right there, if you take all those areas together, over the last many years, she's the #1 realtor, and I'm proud of you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sweetheart. But you know why that's the case?
Well, because of me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, and a couple of those, things are not. They're kind of what people call them, not what the official word is. Like there's one that's what's that one with the orange in it? I just want to do that. And then there's that one to the south.
Ovation. Very good. All right. So anyway, so hopefully that's helpful. And again, we're gonna kind of go through this every week. We're gonna add this to our Monday coffee time together to kind of give you more specific information targeted in on each of those little areas. But real quick, because we were talking about inspections a minute ago, I want to go to Jane's question because she had asked. Radon, question mark. Okay, so radon is a natural gas that comes up from the earth. Now, if you live in areas where there are basements, this is where it is a bit more of a concern. What happened? We had a light just went out, honey. Hey, Eric, one of these lights just went out. Not that I care, but just letting you know. One of the lights just went out. Something happened. Something flickered. Anyway, something changed. Anyway, so radon is a natural gas that comes from the ground. And if you live in areas like New York, for instance, and you have basements, radon is something you have to be a lot more concerned about and aware of. Here, however, I mean, it's everywhere, right? So it's not that it doesn't exist. It still exists, but because we live where we live in the country, it's not really a problem here, but it is an option for people in their inspection reports to have a radon test done. And I just had some clients do the radon tests, completely fine, no issues. But it is important to know that that's here. Okay, remember where we live, right? We have the water table, like we don't have basements. So it's a whole different kind of earth concept than where you might live in other parts of the country. So check where you live. If you're not moving here to come, thank you, dear. If you're not coming here to see me and move here, then, fine. But if you do come here, radon is something that you can have tested within that inspection report. I think it was like $275 to add to the inspection or something. Yeah. It's kind of an expensive add-on, but if it gives you that peace of mind, that's what inspections are for. So feel free, go for that. Okay. All right. So let me double check. Were there any questions before we move on to some of the other fun stuff? Let me see. What do we have?
Jim had a question like right off the top.
Yeah, this is Jim. Jim, you saw your picture a minute ago. Sheetrock and plaster work is completed. Walls are painted, and now the floors are in. Woo woo. Will the cabinets be next, or will they be focused more on the interior trim work? So first of all, Jim, let me know if I have not already sent you that really fabulous Road to Home PDF that we have that kind of goes through every single stage of construction. From what we have seen, it's not, something could go out of order a little bit, but generally speaking, it kind of gives you the fluid route of that construction. So when you talk about interior trim work, so obviously like doors and things like that will be in. Cabinets will be coming. And obviously they're doing the floors, they're going to do the cabinetry, and then they do the trim work typically kind of out and about and around. Again, it's different trades, so you never know that there could be multiple things happening at once. But either way, my friend, you are on that very, very, very fast freeway now, getting so close to closing, which just makes my heart so happy. Super excited about that. Shafiq, you said our home insurance premiums rocketing up. Not that I am aware of. Nothing has changed. I haven't had any clients get their homeowners insurance have any issues. Just as a reminder, in Florida, because we live where we live, all these homes are insured, obviously, but sometimes you have to, you go outside some of the normal companies to find those companies. So we have a company that we usually refer, it's a broker, insurance broker that we refer our clients to so that they can let the broker do all the footwork. Yes, Eric?
I would say on the coast, yes, absolutely. Things are rocketing up. We have a crisis in Florida. It hasn't affected us as much.
Not right here.
But property insurance rates, I would say they're not rocketing because they were already really high.
Yeah.
And they're getting higher. But Florida in particular has a property insurance issue.
Right. But on the coast, you're saying. Is
more on the coast than here.
Coast.
They're pretty high here too, though.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they're skyrocketing. They were just always been high.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Enchanted Nomads, did your listing in Winter Garden with the historic golf cart area sell yet? Are there restrictions on what you cannot do to a home within that district? Okay, that is a fantastic question. I love you guys. First of all, look at their little logo. Oh my gosh, adorable. So yes and no. So my clients that had, and what you were talking about is the historic, gorgeous downtown area, the one where the lot was 120 feet wide and 125 feet deep, I think, and it was built in 1949. So that home, excuse me, we had it for sale. And the homeowners have already moved out. And so we had agreed, we tried to get it sold. And if we couldn't get it sold, then we would also put it up for lease for a year. So I knew, and I said, let's hold off on putting it up for rent first, because as soon as you put it up for rent, it's going to be rented. Like that was a no-brainer. But I knew that they really preferred to sell it. So we waited a little while, and finally we just put it up for lease. And like that, we have tenants. They're actually moving in this week, I think, actually the 15th of May. So it is going to be technically leased for the next year. However, those clients that are leasing it actually want to purchase it. But before they can officially get their pre-approval, wife needs to get here and get her new job situated so that they can have that employment and income coming in. And then their intention is to purchase the home. Meanwhile, I have another realtor that actually has clients that want to purchase it even with the lease in place. So I have a feeling it's going to be sold, but as of right now, no, it is not sold, but it is still an absolute amazing one. So let's see, anything else in here? Let me see. Rob, in my area, while you get flood insurance through your insurance agent, it's actually from the federal government. Is it the same there? I don't believe so. So I know that it's where we live. I'm not talking about on the coast or in Miami, totally different area. Where we are, really, there's not a lot of homes that are required to have flood insurance. If you are required to have flood insurance, that's coming from the lender, because they're not going to, and from your lender and the insurance company. They're, if it's required, you have to have the insurance for that. And FEMA is the one that determines whether or not you are in a flood zone. And so at every closing, they always say, here is your flood disclosure, where it says you are currently not in a flood zone. However, if FEMA ever goes back to reevaluate and determines that you are now in a flood zone, you will be required to, at that point, get flood insurance. And if you don't, they will get it for you. That's a disclosure that's in every closing packet. So, you're not, in most cases here, you're not required to have it. But if FEMA determines that you are, then absolutely, you'll be required to get it. Sydney, when homes are leased, does the rent go up with each lease renewal? That's going to be dependent on the, it's a good question, Sydney. Hi, Sydney and Valencio. That's a good question. And that's really going to be determined on whoever the landlord is. You could be an investor and you have this done by a property management company and, you're like really hands off and not associated with what's going on over there. And so you just have someone manage it. And yeah, maybe that area, it goes up and up and up because it's more of a, like a timeshare type place, and so everything kind of has to stay on target that way, on that trajectory, whatever. I can never say that word. However, in this case, like if I had an investment property that I was renting out, or this home that we just talked about, it doesn't necessarily have to go up. It can go up. But it doesn't necessarily have to. It's really whatever the landlord. If the landlord and the tenant agree to what they're paying and everyone is still happy and it's covering what needs to be covered and the cost of living hasn't gone up or utilities haven't gone up and things like that, then that really is going to be up to them. That's a good question though, because it really is going to be, kind of whatever they want. So, okay. So let me go on to something else on our lovely, I have all my buttons over here. Okay. So I want to go to some congratulations. And before I even get to the official congratulations, I have my other list. So today I'm so excited because after we leave here, Eric and I are going to go meet with Barbara and Bernie, no last names. Barbara and Bernie, they're a great example of people, we set them up, we tell them where to go. They're here, they get somewhere, they fall in love, they contract, and then they went on a cruise. And so I think they went on a cruise. So anyway, so we're going to have a quick little meet and greet a little bit later this morning over at the French Cafe, just to kind of meet and greet and say hello. Jenny and Phil, you have a final walkthrough today, and then they are closing in a couple days. And then Sue, at the moment, I should give her an award, the longest build process thus far. However, it won't be the longest ever once West Haven Ovation starts up. But for the moment, Sue gets the award. They are doing our new homeowner orientation this afternoon, and they are closing later this week too. So those are some appointments that I have today after coffee time is over. But let's go to our congratulations, which we've actually also changed because we're doing, it's pretty. Yay. So I'm very proud of that. Yeah, Eric is very proud of that. The congratulations is now wishes coming true. So we want to congratulate Omar and Heidi. Actually, he spelled it wrong, but that's okay. Oh, I sure did. That's okay. Heidi doesn't spell her name that way. We apologize. So Omar and Heidi have, actually, we talked about this last week. I don't even know if we have a button for it today, but we teased you a little bit last week about having a listing that was going to go active, but we couldn't tell you too much about it because it was more than 24 hours before it was going to go active. It did go active on Friday. So Omar and Heidi, it's actually Haiti, I think, right? Spells it differently. But they have their home on the market. It is a really lovely 3-bedroom, 2-bath plus a flex space / office, 1-story floor plan built in 2017. It is out in Davenport. It is not short-term rental, so it is a true residential community. Great location, big backyard, fenced in with a privacy fence, priced really, really, really well, under $400,000. So if you're talking about needing a home in that area, that is a good one. So Omar, congratulations to them. We have their home on the market, not under contract yet, but just went on Friday. Brian and Melissa, oh my gosh. So this home out here, the Flexible Festival officially closed last week. So not only, was it under contract, but it closed. It was a very quick one, by the way. I think we contracted on April 28th, and then we closed on 21st. I don't know, but it was like a very quick closing. So congratulations to everybody on that one. That one was really, it was fantastic. The buyer's agent was fantastic. The lender was fantastic. They got it done in a very short amount of time. Congratulations to the title company for getting it all pulled together so quickly. No issues. We did have, and this is funny, and I'm going to share this with you because I think it's important. We had a last minute, oh my gosh, moment where the buyer was at closing and they had misunderstood or misread the HOA disclosure. And the HOA in that community was 300 and something a month because again, it's a townhome. And so they're higher there and lots of amenities. So they had misread the $300 a month. Well, it's actually paid quarterly. So it was 900 and something a quarter, right? And they misread it like the day of closing and thought it was 900 and some dollars a month, not a quarter. So there was a last minute panic on everybody's part going, what? But it all worked out. Once I explained, I was like, nope, here's the disclosure that they signed. The disclosure says 900 and whatever per quarter. But if you do that on a monthly basis, it's 300 and some a month. So they signed off on it. Everything is as disclosed and everything worked out fine. They closed and all is happy and wonderful. So congratulations to them. And then again, going back to those congratulations to Bart and Jean. So this is another example. I am so excited. So Bart and Jean were ready to purchase something here in Florida. We had, part of my process and procedure, right? They called, we had a really long phone conversation, knowing what it was that they kind of were looking for. I gave them a long list of some home options. And by the way, sometimes while I'm talking to you on the phone, I'll send a quick text message to one of my builder contacts going, hey, is that spruce floor plan over at Ridgeview still available? Because I'm like, oh, that might work for them, right? So I gave them a long list of some home options, some communities, and some opportunities for them. Bart came in a few days before Jean did and went out to preview some of those areas just to kind of drive around. He's like, we're going to take this one off our list. Didn't really like the community as a whole, or it was a little bit too far out there, or the house wasn't quite big enough. So whatever it was able to exclude a few of those options. And so then when we met up the other day, we really kind of already knew what was the number one choice. We were going to go see 3. As we met and we talked, they're like, you know what? I don't think anything is going to beat this one. This is what we want. It's perfect. The completion's going to be perfect. The design options are perfect. Like everything about it is lovely. And so they contracted. They're going to be building with Dream Finders. They're going to be building the Avalon floor plan, which is one of my favorites. So I am so stinking excited for them. They are the sweetest people.
The House Whisperer.
The House Whisperer.
That's why I call Amy the House Whisperer.
No,
because you knew. You sent them where to go, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's perfect." And
I know. It is. I know, and I mean, it doesn't always happen, but
Whisperer.
It does happen quite a bit. It does happen quite a bit, though, and it's because when I'm listening to what it is that you're saying that you want, being active in what's happening in real estate, right? I know kind of what's happening. Speaking of knowing what's happening, I have a secret. Do you want to know my secret? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? Tell me if you want to know my secret, because this is awesome. Kim, where are you, Kim? You need to pop up and raise your hand and say, I'm here, because Kim, I think this that I'm getting ready to tell you is probably for you. Where is it? I got to find it. Because you moved my thing. He made me a button, everyone. Oh, and I need to.
Intro, though.
Intro.
I'll find it. It's
so many buttons now. We're so big time. We're so big time, guys.
What is it?
I don't know. You did.
I definitely made a button.
No, that wasn't it.
Oh no, it's
secret right there.
That right there.
There it is. I found it. We found it.
Tease the intro though, because
okay. Okay, so
you know a secret.
Yes.
Say I know a secret.
So I do. I know a secret. Okay, so I know a secret. So a lot of times what happens, and this is exactly what happened to me yesterday. I get a text message from one of my builder contacts. Hey, Amy, we just had such and such fall through. It's going to come back on the market and no changes can be made to it. It's broken ground, so it's not completed. It still has several more months of construction to go, but it did break ground, which means nothing can be chosen. You can't change the structurals. You can't change the design. But here are the specifics. Are you ready? Kim, I think this is for you. I hope it is. Okay, it's a one-story floor plan. It's almost 2,100 square feet. I think it's like 2,080. It is 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. Again, it's a nice big one-story, front load, 2-car garage are you ready? It is in Horizon West. It is in Hamlin. If you are interested in getting more info on this home, this is not my listing. This is literally brand new construction. And again, it just broke ground, which means it should be complete. I would probably say 6 months ish, I think. They're going pretty quickly, but if you are interested, let me know. But Kim, as soon as I heard about this one, I was like, oh, I want to add this to the list. Kim's going to be coming in this week. So I'm excited to be able to at least mention this one. And I will tell you, it's here in Hamlin. It's in the Horizon West area. It's in Disney's backyard. And it is brand new. Nobody else really knows about it yet. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple people, but generally speaking, those are the inside scoops that I count on because it's a way that I can help you find out what other people don't know and jump on an opportunity. I guess I didn't tell you the pricing. So the price is probably going to be about $650-ish. The builder has not confirmed, so I am not going to put I'm not going to say that definitively speaking, but I would say to expect $650, $645, somewhere around that range.
But nobody knows about this.
Nobody knows.
Except everyone.
Now you all know, but you don't know where it is, so I don't want to do that until you call me. Okay. All right, so let's move on. So that is I know a secret. I'm so excited about that one because I am chomping at the bit to sell that, and I'll tell you why when you call me 407-848-8042. Okay, let me move on to something else that's fun. They are loving your graphics, honey. That's all of these comments are right here. They're all about that all the way. Okay, all right. So we're going to do our market update, and then it's going to be beautiful beyond that. The whole Disney's backyard thing. It's worth waiting for. Okay, so here's the market. Okay, so you're familiar with this little graphic that we've had going for the past several weeks to kind of compare last week versus this week. I think it's very helpful if you go back and look at this kind of and compare and contrast. So you can see that the market pulse update, 110 active, 15 canceled, 137 closed. Boy, my glasses need to be cleaned. I can't see anything. 7 expired, 142 pending, 2 withdrawn. Status updates, meaning that there was a change in the status of them, 413. Here's the big one though. The average valuation estimate, 614. A little over that, 614,000. And then the absorption rate is 24 days. So look at last week. Okay, the absorption rate was 24 days. So not a lot has changed when it comes to that aspect of it. The valuation estimate, 416 to 614. So
that's not true.
That's not true?
That valuation estimate is bad.
He says that's bad. Yeah, on that particular graphic. But here, I think this part is going to be so fun and so exciting. I'm so excited to share this with you. Hold on. Because this will really help answer a lot of your questions that I'm seeing happen over here. Okay, so we talked about Disney's backyard a little while ago. We showed you this kind of graphic as where these areas are popping up, right? You can see the villages. We talked about Hamlin. We talked about Bridgewater. We talked about the Seidel area and Lakeside. We talked about Hickory Nut. Talked about Seidel. I think I mentioned that one already. And Ovation. We also know where Winter Garden is, and then Mineola, Claremont, and Wellness Way, right? So this is the same little section that we talked about earlier. But let's dig into this a little bit deeper and be a bit more specific and target in on some of these areas. Okay, so if you take a look here, you all right? Eric has worked very hard on these graphics, so we need nothing but accolades later, okay? So this is Ovation. This is the Ovation Village. These are some of the communities. North Lake at Ovation, which is Ashton Woods. You have Winding Bay, which is Cahab and Rockwell. Oasis 55 Plus, which is the Del Webb by Pulte. Highland Ridge, Meritage, West Haven at Ovation. You've got Toll Brothers. Encore at Ovation, which is MI. You've got Serenity, which is Dreamfinders. So all of these communities are within the Ovation Village. Does that make sense? And then you saw the little flamingo crossings. So in the last 30 days, 577,033 was the median, right? Highest sale was 900,000 for a 3,600 plus square foot 5-bedroom home, and that was at Encore Ovation. The lowest sale was also in Encore Ovation, but it was a bungalow, so it was a different style home, and the lowest sale was 467. So that should really help you price-wise when you're thinking, oh, I want to move into the Ovation area and my budget's 350. That's not going to happen, right? There's just not a lot at that price point or anything at that price point. And then Eric, yes. I am the official realtor of Disney's backyard. And this really is Disney's backyard. You know, all of these areas when our friends were here when our friends were here last night. They actually were here at 9 o'clock and you could hear the fireworks going off. And they're like, oh, those are the fireworks. I'm like, yeah, they're, right here. And it really, really, truly is, you're sitting outside, you know where you are, you know where you live, and you know that you've got the beautiful, magical place of Disney just super close to you. And I understand, by the way, not everybody is as enthralled with it. Not everybody is moving here specifically because of it. But I can tell you that most everybody that is moving here at least wants to be close and have good access to it. They want to take the benefit of the location and the desirability because they know then it's going to be a good place to live, to settle down, to retire, to downsize, or to start the family and to grow the family. So it is just a lovely place that is welcoming to everybody, no matter what age or stage that you are in. And so that's why this Disney's Backyard is really, really true to our heart. Yes, sir?
And that was even cooler than I thought it was going to be. Like, you did such a good job of going through that. So we're going to do different villages every week.
Yeah.
On Coffee Time. But I want, because I'm very proud of that, but I want to share that our data analyst, Forrest Kidwell, contributed a great deal to, and will be contributing a great deal to give you those numbers. I think those numbers really help.
The numbers do help.
To say what's the highest sale. So I mean, we have a data analyst that works for us. We even love him.
We do.
He's one of us, but he's contributing to that as well. So more every week of that.
Yeah, and I do think that's helpful. And I think mostly for the expectation aspect. We always talk about setting expectations, and it is amazing to me. I can when I have phone calls with clients, like that first long phone call that we have. Some people are very knowledgeable. They're very well versed in what's going on. They kind of watch us all the time. They watch other stuff all the time. They're paying attention and they know what it's going to take to live here. And then there's other people that they haven't done anything beyond it. Well, first of all, you're not supposed to have done everything, right? I mean, you're not required to. The information is there and it is accessible now. So a lot of people take advantage of that, which I think is great. But there's a lot of people that don't, they're like, I just want to live at Disney. And then they come through and they find the videos and they're like, oh, we'll call her. And then they call me. But they haven't really done much investigation or research beyond, finding a realtor. And that's part of my job, right? And so this information that we share with you every Monday, I think is fantastic, but it's also a great resource for our clients to be able to kind of help them see, not just by those numbers, but to visualize things conceptually with the graphics and things. So hopefully that's helpful. And yes, as Eric said, we're going to dive in deeper every week. It'll be kind of a different place. We'll give you those specifics on kind of the highest and the lowest when it comes to sales. Keeping in mind, everybody, that so many of our communities out here have multiple versions of homes, from townhomes to bungalows to traditional single family homes to maybe some luxury homes, all within the same community. So you really could have a townhome that's at $450,000 and then a $2 million home within the same exact community. And so, that kind of messes with numbers a little bit, but if you know, then you know and you understand. All right, real quick. Let me see if there's any other questions. And then we're getting close to being 10 o'clock. Where did the morning go, guys? So L. Robert said, how much inventory is left at Winding Bay? I like Rockwell Homes. Not much, my friends. Not much. I mean, there's a couple, but there's not a tremendous amount. So let me know if you're interested. I can get you the exact numbers. But I actually just had some clients, their home is like zooming along. They purchased an inventory home, gorgeous view, very close to the entrance. And that's kind of where they are. They're kind of closing out and moving forward with that. But it's quite nice. I like their home and I like that location. All right, so let us go to, what else do I need to do? Oh, I need to do what I'm watching real fast. Let's do that because that's fun. This is a good one. Okay. Oh my gosh. So A Million Little Things on Hulu. The farewell season. Oh, this is his logo that he founds with. Okay.
That's for the ABC guy.
Oh, yeah. So this was a TV show? Okay. I didn't know that. So, because I never watch regular TV. So I was like, I see something in there that must be a spoiler alert because I don't know what's happening to one of those characters, but great. Now I don't need to watch the rest of it. Okay. So I just started watching this. I've only watched the first 4 episodes. I had a picture that I posted. Let me show you this picture because it's amazing. I don't know where I can find it. Hold on. But while I'm looking for it, so I was scrolling Facebook again. I'm never really on Facebook anymore, but I was on it briefly. And I'm trying to find the picture of Forrest and Will. Anyway, so my son, let's see if I can find it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think mine just came up too. Yeah, here it is. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so this is my son is in the shirt with the yellow poking down. That's Forrest, and that is my nephew Will. And my son lives in Richmond, and my nephew lives in Fredericksburg, I think.
He's a firefighter in DC.
Firefighter in DC, and he was in town, and there was an event, and my son Forrest knew his cousin was coming, so they went and they met up. So anyway, so I was on Facebook because I posted the picture because I don't know about you, but I use Facebook as a way to, it's my scrapbook. That's where I put all my photos so I can go back to them when I need them. Anyway, so I was on Facebook and somebody said, oh my gosh, I'm watching A Million Little Things. You must watch it. And then some other people commented, oh my gosh, 20 minutes in and I'm hooked. And I'm like, okay, I need a new show. So I found it and oh my gosh, I'm hooked. I love it. I'm not that far into it. Like I said, I've only watched like 4 or 5 episodes. I think it's so far, but I am super excited. So if you need a good watch, this is a good one. Ultimately, it's about friendship. And the whole point of it is that, friendship isn't one thing. It's a million little things. And, it's a group of friends that meet by happenstance and kind of the journey and the relationship, the highs and lows that takes them. So it's great. So if you need something to watch, I highly recommend that one. All right, we're going to do Zillow and then I'm going to get out of here, I think, because... a couple more questions? Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'll do Zillow while I'm looking for the questions. Okay, so Eric wants you to know that this is where he was born, not this house.
Bellevue, Nebraska.
In Bellevue, Nebraska. This is called the Flying Nun House, you said?
Yes.
So 4 bedrooms, 5 baths, 3,476 square feet. But take a look at this. So it was built in, what'd you say, 1960?
It was in the 60s.
It was in the 60s. It looks like it has not changed since the 60s as far as the decor on the inside. But, okay, so this is, now look at the ceiling. Look at the roof on that. That whole thing looks like it's about to fall in. And
they should get an inspection report.
What
things are in an inspection report?
But here's the thing. This is what's funny. So this is my eye, right? When Eric is showing me this, I do kind of immediately look at kind of the decor, but then I go to what's wrong with this house, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, that roof. First of all, you know what it looks like? It looks like the quirky kind of like office building roofing, ceiling in there. But anyway, so if you're interested in this home, I can't help you, but feel free to go buy it. But yeah, it definitely looks like it was kind of, I know, I love it. Looks like it's kind of stuck there. But yeah, they call it the Flying Nun Home, and I think you can tell by the exterior. It's kind of cool. The land's nice, though.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Anyway, so yeah, great option for you there. Okay. Couple questions real quick. So Rhonda, hey Rhonda, what does it cost to get on a wait list? It doesn't cost you anything to get on a wait list except possibly your realtor. And that's not always true. So I would say, Rhonda, if you are interested and you're trying to sign up for like a VIP list, the main thing to do is just to make sure that you note that you're going to be working with a realtor, even if you don't know who that realtor is yet. Hopefully it's me, but if you're like looking to purchase somewhere else and I can't help you, you always need to disclose that you will be working with a realtor. I had some clients, actually, it was Jean and Bart when they were here, and Bart went into one of the places and they wanted him to fill out a card. He goes, I'm not going to fill it out because I'm waiting for my realtor to come back with me. So, good on you, right? So, but for a wait list, if it's a wait list that you're signing up on online through a builder's website, then that's different. However, I have many clients that I have placed on the wait list with the builder, and that's a whole different story. So let's say there's a community, let's just use, let's use Silverleaf as an example, okay? Because Pulte's going to be opening up a new section within the Silverleaf area here. So let's say that you want to get on a wait list there, but there's nothing really that you can do yet because they haven't really released the information. Then you say, hey, Amy, what's about this Pulte community over in Silverleaf? I might be interested. It's a good location for me. Okay, Rhonda, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Carly, or I'm going to reach out to Elizabeth, or I'm going to reach out to whomever my contacts are with that builder and get you on that wait list. It doesn't obligate you to anything or for anything. You don't have to build there. You don't have to buy there. It just puts you on the wait list so that you'll be notified when things start to progress. Or if there is a specific home, like a model home that they're going to be selling later and you want to get on that wait list, same thing. Just let your realtor get you on that list to make sure you're protected. But if it's like an internet one, you know, just make sure that wherever there's a line for you to write some info that you put working with a realtor, just so that you can protect yourself. But financially, it doesn't cost you anything. Geraint, off subject, did any of your TV channels show the King's coronation yesterday? Of course.
Any of them not show it?
Yeah, like, no, it was on everything, everywhere. Like even so we have some news channels in the morning that basically just run the same thing on a loop. Like it's like, what, a 15-minute broadcast and they just loop over and over and over again. That was all showing it live. Like every channel, it was live everywhere. I even watched some of it. I actually got up with my coffee and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched basically the most important part, right? Right when they were inside. And so yeah, it was definitely on.
And congratulations to your cousin.
Yeah, and yes, exactly. My cousins.
That's true.
No.
It is true.
Okay, well, if we really, I think we're all cousins if we go that far back. So, hey, cousin. Anyway, so yeah, of course we did. Of course we watched that. Yeah, I mean, you know, you kind of have to, right? Especially since it hadn't happened in forever, right? It's been the longest time ever. Like we've never seen that before, for us anyway, our generation. Anyway, okay, so I think that is it, my friends, today. Oh, no, I didn't. I've got to show this. Alonda. Okay, this is an example. Back to the congratulations. I mentioned her last week. Alonda did close on Friday successfully. And I have to tell you, she is a perfect example of perseverance and trust and faith and working hard to get it done, because not all closings, and this was a build process, by the way, Alonda built from dirt. So from dirt all the way through a big, beautiful, massive home. Oh my gosh, gorgeous, gorgeous home. And it was a process. It's a long time, you know. She lived out of state, so she had a home dash to sell there, and then all of the moving pieces and getting new employment here. And it can be an emotional roller coaster. And sometimes they go very, very smoothly, and sometimes there's a little bit more peaks and valleys. And I just want to say that, you know, when I was with her at closing, obviously I was there and I took the picture. But then I also sent that picture to my builder contact so that she could see Alonda close. Congratulations. And then even the builder contact's like, you know, this is why we do what we do. You know, we fight for the clients to get things pushed through when they need to get pushed through, and to be their advocate and to get it all done. So huge congratulations, huge achievement. So congratulations, Alonda. I love you, my sweet friend. Okay, now with that, I am going to go because I've got appointments. Is there any other last minute questions, Eric? Okay, I think I'm good. All right, guys. So that being said, just want to remind you, as always, we appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe or like or do all that fun stuff. It really helps us. Thank you for all of your comments. If I missed one, I apologize. If I missed saying hello or good morning to any of you, again, I apologize. I love you all. Patty, I see you. You popped in there, so hey, Patty. We'll be back again next week as usual. Find your questions, save them up, write them down so that you can ask me for next week. And Kim, you need to be reaching out to me, or anyone else that is interested in my secret house that's just going to come back on the market. We could get you locked in before anybody knows it, and you can take part of living here in Disney's backyard. All right, guys, as always, we love you. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you, and happy house hunting. Bye, guys. Love you guys so much. Bye.